Most of the Eskimo people in the world live in the Arctic regions of North America.
Since migrating from Siberia 6,000 years ago, the Inuit people of the Arctic have weathered the harshest of conditions. Skilled navigators who invented the kayak, they were the first Native Americans to be contacted by Europeans when the Vikings reached the continent 5 centuries before Columbus. Today, temperatures in the Arctic are increasing at twice the rate as the global average. As the sea ice melts, the Inuit way of life, resilient for millennia, is now threatened with extinction.
Taman silangali okosio midlo turang ito kisiane ani wala upleanengin sikudlaw ko pahatpenenga taman takon na sugu sa mga atane nga imang tay na jaga nga sumanok to
vittu kuluva ju on nyt jagua paljon vittu pitää kauneutta kuluin temakkoa.
The melting of the Arctic is a global threat. Far more lethal than carbon, methane emissions from the thawing permafrost reached record levels in 2019. Alongside this methane lies a trillion tons worth of carbon dioxide, whose release into the atmosphere would overwhelm current emissions.
We are in the midst of a period that biologists call the sixth extinction, rapid extinction of species. In fact, it's going on at a level faster than it has for the last 65 million years. There are parts of the world that are becoming virtually uninhabitable because of the heat. South Asia is in danger of losing its main water supplies. That's hundreds of millions of people. The Trump administration is tearing away the environmental restrictions, the restrictions on emissions and so on.
They're lifting job-killing restrictions on the production of oil, natural gas, clean coal, and shale energy.
The Trump administration produced an amazing document about a year ago, a long, detailed study of why we don't need emissions controls on transportation. And the argument was that we're going over the cliff anyway. They predicted that by 2100, the temperature will have risen 7 degrees centigrade, which is way beyond possibility of survival. So everything's finished anyhow, so why not drive further? I mean, I don't think there's a document like that in human history, literally. And unfortunately, much of the population is influenced by the parts of the leadership that simply deny what's happening. Your generation has to face a challenge that has never arisen in human history. It's going to be your generation which will decide whether the human species will continue to survive in any organized form. And that's not an exaggeration. There isn't much time.
Come gather around people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown. Accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If the time to you is worth saving, you better start swimming. You'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing.
From the Americas to the Pacific, from Asia to Africa, indigenous communities throughout the world have been leading the struggle against climate catastrophe. If the most vulnerable people on Earth can survive centuries of genocide, surely the rest of us have an equal fighting chance.
We have to remember that we are all indigenous to this earth and that we are all connected. Every generation leaves a mark on this planet. We leave something behind to be remembered by, and we are at a tipping point right now where we will either be remembered as the generation that destroyed the planet, as a generation that put profits before future, or as a generation that united to address the greatest issue of our time by changing our relationship with the earth.
There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll rattle your windows, shake up your walls.